Good morning. It's Friday the 26th. At the moment of this writing, the Supreme Court has told Texas to stand down on the razor wire fence that they're building. And there is increasingly strong saber rattling on both sides. Now, the purpose for this video is simply this: to look at this logically with a game theory approach, which basically sums it up this way. Everybody is logical if we can understand two things: the goal they're chasing and the time frame they're chasing it in. Texas is being overwhelmed with illegal immigration, fentanyl, and everything else. Nobody's arguing that anymore. Right, wrong, that doesn't matter. Texas wants to protect its citizens. Great. However, they are facing an opponent and they're looking at this through the eyes of someone who respects the Constitution. And we've got to take those blinders off. This is not a left or right, Democrat, Republican. This is a very clearly we face an opponent somewhere that desperately wants a shooting war. And that's the crux of it. How do you know they want a shooting war? Because they've been trying for 5 years to get somebody to pull a stunt like Abbott's about to do. Call up the National Guards, flex against the federal government. And everybody says, well, it'll just be the federal government against Texas and whatever coalition he gathers up. But it won't be. Let us look at who these people are, whoever they may be. And my theory would be the ones truly pulling the strings. Let's look at who they're in bed with. Iran, cartels. Those are the illegals, right? The big illegal ones that would worry us. However, let's look at who they're legitimately and knowingly in bed with. Most major heads of government, the UN, China, dissidents here in the United States who would love to see the country gone. The United States remains a unique people because we don't have a race or a color or an origin that anyone can point to, right? You can say I was born in the United States, but that doesn't make you an American necessarily. We've got expats all over the world. You can be born in a foreign country, and that doesn't not make you an American as long as you come here legally and get citizenship. It is the adherence to a set of principles. That's what makes you an American. Citizenship is a little different. But those principles are what have made us great. And as long as those principles exist, there's hope. And where there's hope, people look to that hope. And that foments rebellion among themselves, because just like Sparta could not stand to see Athens, a free society, standing, and the South could not stand to look at the North because the slaves saw the North. The slaves will always, around the world, they will see where freedom is, and sooner or later, the dictator has to do something. So, getting back to the point, if Abbott and his coalition flex against the federal government, do not think for a minute that this will end well. Those who want this country carved up and divided and conquered will invite in the UN, and every country that is interested in pillaging the United States will come. Half of your military will probably join in. Half of your military won't. But do not think for a moment that some of your rank and file generals that you respect today will hesitate if you declare yourself in a civil war or the appearance of a civil war, will hesitate to gun you down. Patton didn't. MacArthur didn't. And if those guys didn't hesitate to draw sabers to disperse a crowd in Washington, D.C., what makes you think anybody else will? Right? It will not be a militiaman moment. You're not going to be like you were in Afghanistan. Afghanistan at least had a willing population to hide behind. Here, the border lines are getting drawn pretty easily. So please, this is your best approach. Continue to do what you were doing before. Arrange the buses. They're cheaper than the National Guard. Keep sending them to Chicago and New York and LA and San Francisco and Seattle. You send them the capital of every blue governor that is calling for immigration. Send them to Delaware. Send them to D.C. Let D.C. get overrun with them. Drop them off nearby and tell them where to go. America hasn't been upset by it. There may be some news media, and again, politicians, the news media does not represent the people. You do. You might want to get in touch with them. But here's the point, folks. No one is going to be able to defend the guns. January 6th was stupid, and the people who went in were even dumber. It was a trap. It was intended to do exactly what it did, and you fell for it. Don't fall for this one. All right. That's all for now. Thanks. Bye.